the Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers game. That'll be played on Sunday, 1 o'clock, right? I keep seeing a bunch of, ton of pressure, like on Jordan Love and the Packers. Aaron Rodgers leaves and he's with the Jets. He seems happy. He's on Hard Knocks. He's in front of the camera a lot. So you're seeing a lot of the good side of Aaron, I would say. And Green Bay is kind of sitting there like, I feel like we didn't see that much, but whatever. And so there's a lot of pressure or perceived pressure on Green Bay. I'd flip that script, to be honest with you. Don't kid yourself. I think the pressure's on Justin Fields. I do, and I think it's on the Bears in general. Look, you gave up a lot to move up, or I guess I'm sorry, you got a lot to move down, right? So you're pushing your chips into the middle in a sense, right? You go get DJ Moore. You've made improvements on the offensive line. You got Chase Claypool last year for damn near a first-round pick. And he was 32, but the Dolphins had to forfeit their pick, so it's technically a second-round pick. Whatever, you get the point. Right, so you've kind of pushed your chips in the middle here. It's time to go out. I'm not saying they're in the Super Bowl bubble by any means, but like you got to start winning games. Or you look at this quarterback class ahead. The Bears don't need to be in the top 10 to get a quarterback that could compete with Justin Fields next year. So Justin Fields, your time is now. Your career 5-20, you completing under 60% of your throws, almost a 1-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, 24-21, pass rating sub 80. We're year 3 now. This is the time you got to go, right? Everybody else watched Colorado and TCU this weekend. Shedeur Sanders is the real deal, right? He wasn't even on anybody's radar. He's now in the discussion for late first round. That's how this league works. That's how this position works. You have to win games now. You have to look good now. We could sit here and be like, oh, he's a dynamic athlete. He's really good running the football. That's great. Love it. But I like my quarterback to move. I like Lamar more than most people. I've turned on Jalen Hurts. I think I like him more than I used to. But they win games, right? Jalen Hurts been to a Super Bowl and damn near outplayed Mahomes in it, and Lamar wins 80% of his games when he's healthy. Justin Fields is 5-20, right? So you can move all you want, but at the end of the day, when it's 3rd and 8 and everybody knows you got to pass, you got to make it happen, and he doesn't, and that's why they don't win enough games. And I know all the talent this and the talent that around him. Like I said, that's why this year is the year. You have a good receiving core. Your offensive line is now above average. Maybe not a ton above. It's probably somewhere around the 14th to 16th best in the league. So average to a slightly above average. Your defense is okay, but you have a defensive coach. It should be a little bit better. And you have what a lot of people perceive as a very good young offensive coordinator. Your time is now. And I know if you look at his stats the last 8 weeks or something like that last year, it's a lot better, but it's still not. He's still not where he needs to be. So the pressure's on him. The pressure on him, I keep hearing, oh, Jordan Love's got all this pressure, and Jordan Love has no pressure, especially not week 1. Maybe week 10 if he's not very good still, sure, he's got pressure. Week 1, he's got no pressure. None. We haven't seen him. I could give you his stats, but it doesn't really matter because the amount of data that's in that is so insignificant. If you really want to know, he completes, again, about 60% of his throws, 1-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, basically the same pass range as Justin Fields. But again, the data points are insignificant. But you look, he's got the more stable franchise, the better head coach, the better offensive line, the better run game, the better defense. And he appears to be a more natural thrower than Justin Fields, although Justin's more talented. That's not really debatable. But it's interesting how we perceive pressure because of something that's out of their control, right? Jordan, this whole Aaron Rodgers thing, that's not in Jordan Love's control. And that's why he's got this weird pressure on him. But when have we known Green Bay to suck? Almost never. Aaron's rookie year, they weren't that. Still won 6 games. They won 6-10. I'm not saying they were great, but they didn't suck. How often do the Bears suck? Let me help you out. A lot, right? They suck quite a bit. It's easy to sit here as a Steelers fan and be like, wow, the Bears suck. But, no, they're not good quite frequently. I know they're this, storied franchise. But, since, I don't know, the 80s when the defenses were running the league, they've been bad. They have not been good. I know they went to that one Super Bowl. They didn't win it. So I think it's weird how we perceive pressure. I think it's interesting. It wouldn't surprise me if Green Bay goes out there and wins. I do think Chicago has a better offense in terms of, weaponry on the outside and the ability for Justin to make plays. I think off script make plays. He's better than Jordan Love. But this isn't clear cut. Oh, Green Bay, they're losing a Hall of Famer, so the pressure's on them. I think that is not true at all. Don't kid yourself. Justin Fields was not drafted by this GM or coach. Like they did not bring him in. The pressure's on him. He's 5-20. You have to prove yourself to your new boss. And if you don't, I'm sorry, but that's how the world works. You're going to be looking for another job soon. And that's where the pressure is. It's on Chicago. It's on Justin Fields. I don't think it's on Green Bay. They have a stable franchise. They'll be fine. In Week 10, if they're 1-9, call me then. But right now, the pressure is not on Green Bay and Jordan Love.
No, I 100% agree. It's completely misdirected. You have an organization that's telling you to temper expectations for the very first time, pretty much ever this offseason. So you don't have to expect too much coming out of that Green Bay camp. So if anything, wins will be kind of celebrated there more than expected. Also, Justin Fields in Chicago, your attributes and the things that are good about you, your assets, should be contributing to those wins, right? How would the entire city of Pittsburgh react? I have never understood this, by the way. Thinking about it now, Justin Fields is 5-20. He's won 5 games, lost 20 of them. Okay.
Kenny Pickett has more wins.
How would the city of Pittsburgh react to a quarterback? I don't care if they have the talent of Lamar Jackson or a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen. Even if you have that much raw talent and you are 5-20, how does the city react?
They'd bail on him.
They would run him out of town.
There are Kenny Pickett doubters right now, and he won more than 5 games in one season.
Yes, and my question is, why is Chicago so high on this guy? Why is Justin Fields like God in Chicago? I realize he was a good prospect coming out of college and pretty much the biggest one you've had in a really long time at the quarterback position. So I get it. But, can we be realistic? He's 5-20.
You got to see
He is 5-20. If you aren't into winning games, then that's on you, Chicago. But I like my quarterbacks to win football games.
Couldn't agree
personally.
more. Couldn't agree more.
All right, let's go.